Oh, Eric is saying, remember when Mondays were a drag? Not anymore. It's beading time. I love that, Eric. We don't have the Mondays, case of the Mondays around here, unless it's a good case of the Mondays. Good morning, Michelle. I'm excited to be here on Monday, September 8th. Oh my gosh, we are headed towards fall. I wouldn't say that we really have fall where I am, but the temperatures are starting to come down. So that's really good. I'm excited about that. Good morning, everyone. I see Connie from Minnesota is joining. Gail C is joining. Tanya is here. Hello, hello. So, if you're stumbling on this show for the first time or you've never joined us here at artbeads.com, I'm Deb Floros. This is my weekly show here, Designing with Deb. We get together every Monday morning and we don't have the Monday blues because we are talking about beads, talking about making jewelry, doing a little bead shopping. So, I mean, that should wash away all of the Monday morning worries. I hope that you all feel that way. And I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend. We were here this weekend. So we've occasionally been doing some shows on Monday or on weekends, and Julie Bean starts the weekend first thing in the morning on Saturday, and some of us kind of switch off on Sunday night. I did a show last night, so I'm a little bead hungover this morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's see who's here. And tell us if you like those weekend shows. So we enjoy them. We feel like it's great to get the community together on the weekend because sometimes you can't watch during the week or you can't watch live during the week. Carolyn is here. Good morning. Hazel, hello. BJ is here. Good morning, BJ. Kim Caldwell, hi. Kathleen M is here from South Florida. Monique Daly is here. Tori is here. Pauline is here. Lisa in PA. Hi, Lisa. Nancy from Michigan. Good morning. Gail C says she does enjoy the weekend shows. I'm glad to hear that. Joanne Dennis says, hi, all. Ruth Alice Cooper, Saturday Morning Tunes was fun and last night's show was great. Thank you so much, Ruth. Connie says she loves the weekend shows. Lisa in PA says she loves the weekend shows. Oh my goodness. So I think we've got a consensus. Kathleen loves the Sunday shows. Thank you, Kathleen. Ellie is here from Florida. Sheila from Massachusetts. Oh my goodness. BJ loves the weekend shows too. Oh my gosh, you guys. Cindy from North Carolina is here. Sharon is here. Sandra is here, and she just saw me last night. Yep. I went to sleep. I got up. I got in front of the beads again today. It's all about the beads, my friends. Hi, Lou. Oh, thank you so much, you guys. So welcome to Monday, and we all appreciate that you join us here at artbeads.com. We love you all. We love our community, and we're excited about another day of celebrating Checkmates. So Checkmates, if you don't know what those are a series of 2-hole beads, often used in needle and thread projects, bead embroidery, seed beading, that kind of thing, but they can be used for so much more, and they are very cool. I'll give you my top few reasons why they're cool. They're cool because they all go together. So they're meant to be interactive. So all the different shapes, we've been celebrating them for the last few days, but there are more shapes than what we've shown you, but they all go together. So the 2-hole beads are intended to have their holes line up, so they work together. So they work beautifully in projects together. So that's one reason I love them. Another reason is the colors. Oh my gosh. The beautiful saturated metallics, the gorgeous kind of opaque versions. There are so many cool versions, and there are some beads that are intended to be supplemental. So we have those here at artbeads.com as well. So there are some little kind of thorn beads and some rounds and some other things that are in similar colors or same colors. So they work together beautifully. So that's another reason I love them. And I also love them because they can create all kinds of fun and interesting shapes and interesting designs. So we've been celebrating them here, and today is the last day that you can get them at 35% off. So 35% off is great because they're already a pretty affordable bead. So if you needed a few vials of them to do a project, you get a lot of them. So if you want to grab a bunch of different colors, grab some new colors, which we've also been showing you, 35% off makes them really, really affordable and really, really cool. So 35% off, and we're showing off some new colors. And you also get today a free pattern to go along with your Checkmate. So the bead we're featuring today is a crescent bead, a crescent Checkmate. And today, if you purchase crescents, you will get this incredible pattern from trendsetter Michelle Snyder. And this is called the Wildflower Bracelet. And here's that design. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So if you pick up the crescents today, you're going to get one of these, and it will give you all the instruction on how to make those beautiful little wildflowers for the bracelet. So that's a great deal. Always fun to get a free pattern. These often are not available. So if you want to grab this one, pick up some of the Checkmate crescents today and you can make this. So what else? One more thing, which I'm going to flip the camera down to show you. So let me flip down. And while I'm flipping down, I'm going to remind you guys, if you're watching at artbeads.com/live, that's the best place to watch the show live because we can see your comments. So Michelle and Eric are here with me today. They are such great sidekicks for my shows because I don't catch all of the comments. So if you are here, you can chit chat with us and you can shop the show. So there is a shopping bag icon on your screen. And if you click on that shopping bag anytime during the show, you can shop the show. So I've got all of these fun crescents in the show today and some other things I'm working with. And if you add this to your cart today and you purchase $75 or more worth of material, beads, anything else, this becomes 50% off. So this is an addition to your $75. So if you have $75 in your cart, add this and you will get this for 50% off. This is a 12-piece set of 1G by Toho. This is a fray-resistant thread that you can use for all of your needle and thread projects, all of your bead embroidery, and look at these beautiful colors. Hi, Denise. So this is a great deal at 50% off. You have tons and tons and tons of thread to work with. You've got some white and some black. You've got a cream color. You've got some other neutrals and some bright, bold colors as well. So this is a great thing to get home. And if you are getting started with all of these amazing 2-hole Checkmates that we've been sharing with you, there are so many things that you can do. You can get those home, get this thread home, and you can start making. So this is an incredible deal, 50% off with a purchase of $75 or more. This thread is made by Toho. So if you are a Toho fan, Toho makes all of the wonderful seed beads that we often show you here at artbeads.com. So they're a Japanese company. They are a great partner, and they make this amazing thread that can be used with any beads. But these colors are amazing, and we hope that you will drop that into your cart and get that home, because this is going to be very helpful to you if you want to get started on all these fun 2-hole bead projects. Now, a reminder, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I can't see your comments live. We'd love for you to come over to artbeads.com/live. Join us here, and we're going to have some fun today. So let's see. I'm going to look at the comments here. Let's see. I'm going to go back just a little bit. I know I missed some. I like your tool rack, Deb. Oh, thank you, Tilly. It's really a candle holder. And let's see. Oh, and Michelle asked about the pattern. You guys have seen it. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Oh, there's Santa Barbara girl. Hello. All right, let's talk about crescents. This has got to be one of my favorites. So crescents are a crescent-shaped 2-hole Checkmate bead. They are 10 by 3 millimeter. So I'm going to show you these up close in just a minute. This might be my favorite shape, and it might be my favorite color. So I've got a head pin here just so it can help me show this off. So here's our crescent shape, and it looks like a little, a partial moon. So a phase of the moon, a crescent moon. And these are flat on either side, and they are curved in 2 different ways. So you do have to be mindful of these when you are working with them, that if you need for them to go a specific way, you need to make sure you string them on to whatever product you're using in that way. So, Tilly says crescent or croissant. Now I'm hungry, Tilly. Oh my goodness. So this is our crescent or croissant bead, and they come in some amazing colors. So before I start on the little ideas I'm going to give you today, let's look at some. Let's look at some pretty colors. So I'm going to use this little tray, and I'm going to dump out this color. So this is sage. And I don't know about you guys, but I saw somebody say something like this in a group lately or recently. Green may not be your favorite color, but green is really magic in beads. So I love green. It used to be my most favorite color. It's like my second favorite color now. Hello, Joan and Phoenix. Hello, Monica. So this is sage green, and it is magic, and it's a metallic sage. So it's super rich and saturated, and it's got that like sheen of metallic, super cool. That one is one that would go with just about any kind of green design you need. So whether it's nature inspired or, I don't know, it's got, some kind of green vibe for the holiday or something. Yeah, Tanya, I love it too. This is a lava. This is called lava. Oh my goodness. This is so beautiful. I love this color. So if you take that sage and the red together, you've got a nice Christmas combo here. So you don't have to use this for Christmas together. There are other greens and other reds, but oh my goodness. Nancy says, I love the metallic Checkmates the most. They are fantastic. I mean, I just swoon every time I see these. And when I heard that we were going to be showing off the Checkmates, I got really excited because I love the metallics and I love the shapes that came my way. Last night I did diamonds, and I'll show you a couple things before I start on the other project. But this is called lava. Oh, this one is divine. This one, this is Valiant Poppy. I'm pretty sure that's the name of this one. Look at this color. This is kind of an orange, but kind of a red. It gives both vibes. And I love that this almost becomes a neutral. So it kind of goes with everything. So you could put it with a sage green. You could put it with that red. Look at that combo. That, like, together, those two things make fire. Hey, Gina L, good morning. So that's a cool color. I love that one. And I always have a hard time putting these back in the package. I really do. It just, every time I struggle. So guess what? That's just going back in the bag with the loose beads because it doesn't want to go, they don't want to go back in. They want to be used for something. This one, ooh, wow. So I've been on a purple tear, and this one is called Almost Mauve. So I would call this more of a very light lavender or purple, but this color also looks really, really, really beautiful. Oh goodness, Santa Barbara girl, you overslept because the kitty was knocking bottles off the counter. Oh man, that's what kitties do best. This is a super cool color. Absolutely gorgeous, shiny, shimmery. And I would say this could be a replacement for silver. So if you don't want to go all the way silver, this is a nice kind of shade of purple. Yeah, Tilly pinkish silver. Yeah, it's really cool. So I'm going to take those, put those back in, and those don't want to go back in either. So that's going back in the bag so they don't go everywhere. So that one, we looked at that one. Ooh, this is a variation on gold, in my opinion. A little green gold, and it's called Antique Gold. So I love this. Again, it's like a shade off of gold, and it has just a really interesting vibe to it. So you could take that sage, look at that combo. Ooh, super, super, super fantastic. Ooh, and I like this combo too. Where did I put it? I like this combo. I haven't shown you this one yet, but look at this combo. That beautiful like blue and this color, absolutely spectacular. So just a nice, soft metallic, really, really cool, just really awesome color. So I'm going to show you one more, and then we're going to look at what's on my mat. So this is that blue, and this is called Blue Stone. And wow. So I kind of think this is giving me like Montana blue vibes, maybe a little bit. Super beautiful blue, really gorgeous. And as I said, these are curved, curved like a crescent. Super fun. Yeah, Santa Barbara girl, they are beautiful. So, you need a good blue. There's your good blue. And I'm going to put these off to the side. And if I didn't say it in the beginning, because I don't remember, this is fuchsia. So this is the fuchsia colored crescent. And it is, it looks like a little smile, doesn't it? And B, it is a pretty blue. So here's that little crescent shape. That's probably my favorite color. But I mean, honestly, you guys, there are so many incredible colors to work with. And I've just been having fun playing around with these. I've actually worked with these a few times before. So I've always been excited about this shape. I thought I would show you really quickly. Last night, we were working with diamonds, and at the end of the show, I tried to make an ear cuff, and I finished it after the show. It isn't perfect, but it's a 2-hole bead ear cuff with some 24, I think this is 24 gauge wire, and the diamond beads, and some demi rounds. And this just kind of goes over the side of your ear. I'm going to put it on so I don't forget to show it to you when we're done. And I also made a fun little crescent shaped earring using some demi rounds and some diamonds. If you want to go back and watch last night's show, if you missed it, you can see all of these things featured. Here's another fun like column earring with some diamonds and demi rounds and here's a longer version. And all of these things, you guys, can be used. This same technique can be used for what we're doing today. That's the cool thing, is all of these crescent shaped beads are like universally kind of you're able to do all of the same techniques, most of them, the simpler ones, with these same, these different kinds of Checkmates beads. So here's something I love to do. I am not a seed beader. I do seed bead. I do make seed bead projects, but I don't consider myself a seed beader. And I know a lot of our friends, thank you so much, Giggles from Arizona. I think a lot of folks that are seed beaters maybe have the skill of doing the fancy beaded beads. I can't do the fancy ones, but I've taught many folks the simple seed bead, beaded bead, or the simple beaded bead. And this is one that you can do with crescent beads, and it looks fancier than it really is. So this is super easy, and I wanted to share that I did a show on this last year around the holidays. And if you go back, because you can always watch these shows on demand, if you go back, you can look for the show Feeling Festive with Crescent Beads. And it's got a cover that has the red and the green beads, because these look like little Christmas ornaments, don't they? So they look super fun, like a little Christmas ornament, or like a pumpkin. I saw that go by. I think it was Santa Barbara Girl that says that. And it also looks like a little melon. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. So this is just a really fun and easy beaded bead. Now, I took that beaded bead and I turned those crescents around and did it with the beads going in the opposite direction. So I've mentioned a couple times, when you string on your crescents, it does matter the direction that they go, because they are curved like a crescent. So you have to decide how you want them to orient. So I oriented them the absolute opposite of the other one, and look at the different look that you get. Thanks, Monty. You get a completely different look. So this one, round, very melon-ish, pumpkin-ish, Christmas ornament-ish. And this one, kind of wild and crazy, kind of spiky almost, really fun. And all I used here were some seed beads in between. So for both of these beaded beads, I used an 11-0 seed bead. I actually used these. And this is one of my favorite colors, antique bronze. This is a great kind of gold, antique goldish looking color that works with so many things. And these are, I believe, this color. Is it this one? Yes, this is the sage. So we looked at this a little while ago. The sage beads are so incredibly beautiful. So if you want to learn these, I can most certainly do another beaded bead show. Let me know if you want to learn about beaded beads. We can do that at some point. I do the simple ones because that's what I know how to do, and that's what I feel comfortable doing. Maybe it's a gateway to doing the more fancy ones. So, Monty says disco beads. Yes, look at that disco bead. So, I'll show you just really quickly before I walk away from this. There are some things that you can do with these once you make them. So one thing I like to do, if I can find my head pin again, this is what I do. I like lose stuff on my table and then I can't find it again. All right, so let me find another head pin. Bear with me 1 second. So I gotta find the head pins. So I'm gonna grab just a little, I'm going to grab a 2-inch, this might be 1.5 inches, I'm not sure. So I'm going to grab a head pin. This one has a flat end. And I'm going to take one of those silicone earring backs, and I'm going to drop that on to my head pin. And then I'm going to take my little beaded bead and drop that on. So if you were to put this beaded bead onto your head pin, it would probably slip off. So this is what I've done. You can also add one up top if you want to. So you can come in and add one up top, and those silicone little pieces actually kind of become invisible because most of them are clear. So I've got this secured onto my head pin, and then you can do a wire wrap loop or a simple loop. You can attach this to a long piece of chain, or you can just do a simple little beaded bead earring, just a little drop, and you pick the crescents, you pick the seed beads, you pick the colors that you want, and you have a really fun and easy project. So Santa Barbara Girl says, I can't wait to see one of these in orange and with a tiny beaded stem. Yes. So this, and Tilly says, I'd use bead caps. Absolutely. You can add a bead cap as well. Let me show you. I think I've got a bead cap here. This one, I think would work. So if you add bead caps, that's another way. This one, I don't have in the show. Actually, I don't think it's even an art beads one. Sorry about that. But you can add that, or you can add a daisy spacer, and I love my daisy spacers. So if you have a daisy spacer, different size daisy spacers would work. I'd probably use a smaller one than this one, but just as long as you have a way to prevent your bead from dropping off of your head pin. So that head pin, it might stay, but it might not. So that's a way that you can make an earring out of it. And you could actually stack them for an earring as well. So if you want to add one and then a spacer and then another one, I've done it that way. They almost kind of look like a little snowman. So that's a fun way to use them. Another thing I've done is I've taken a piece of chain. So this chain is in the show. This is really beautiful chain. This is gold-plated Figaro chain. Really beautiful, really nice and detailed. It's 2.3 millimeter. You can take this and drop this through your bead, and I promise you it will fit through because I made it fit earlier. Come on, go through, buddy. So there we go. So drop it through your bead, if I can get my hands on it, and I promise you it will fit. It's being stubborn on one of the little beads. Here we go. So you can actually drop this onto some chain and just have a really beautiful beaded bead accent on your chain. So very simple if you are a minimalist and you just want a little something. You can grab your favorite colors, grab some beautiful chain, and you can string this on. Really just a pretty simple idea for a simple beaded bead, and you've got something fun to display. Now, you could take these to a craft fair, so get yourself a bunch of different chain, get yourself a bunch of different colors of your beads, and you can make these and add them to your chain and make a few bucks, and you've got a pretty easy project to put together to put those all out and sell them. So pretty replicable project for summer. Now, one variation I'll tell you about if you're making these is you can make these with multiple seed beads in between. So if you want so this one comes together pretty tightly, but if you want a larger hole, you can add more seed beads. So I've done these with 2 seed beads, 3 seed beads in between, and you get a larger hole. And I love a good ball chain. I don't know about you guys, but I like ball chain. It's still some of my favorite chain. And if you have a larger hole on your beaded bead, this might be the ticket. And I like this because this is a little bit more casual. So you might like the Figaro chain, and that might be more your jam, but I know some folks might like just a little something more casual. So ball chain is always fun to work with and pretty affordable, pretty easy to get your hands on. So I've got some of that in the show today too. It won't fit through these beads because the holes are too small, but you could absolutely string these on and do all kinds of different colors. Maybe do several beaded beads and string them on. I did a show with different 2-hole beads. I think it was around Cinco de Mayo, because I used some Cinco de Mayo colors last year. And I used some ball chain and put those, put those into necklaces. Now, another idea for these beaded beads is if you make them with a larger hole, you can put them onto a bracelet. So we have these in stock. They're in the show today, and they have these nice closures. So they've got this loop and a hook. They are in silver and gold, and they are made by Tierra Cast. So you know they're nice quality, and they are a bangle, but with a closure. And you have to be able to get over this hook. So you have to have a large enough hole to get over the hook. But this is another way to display your beaded beads if you want to do that in a bracelet. You could also put it on a bracelet chain. You could also create a beaded bracelet, which I have one, but I could not for the life of me find it. I cleaned up some things in my studio and now I can't find anything. So I did use some of these in a beaded piece. So I think I used some 4mm rounds and some seed beads and made a beaded bracelet. And my beaded beads were in the focal section, and all of the seed beads and the other beads held them in place, and they were the focal of my design. So these are just different ways that you can use these. And Santa Barbara Girl says you can construct the bead directly on the bracelet. You absolutely could. If you are skilled in that way, you could. Makes it a little bit more challenging, but you could most certainly do that. And let's see, is there a preferred thread for these? 1G is shown. So I thought I had put some other threads in the show. Fireline is also something that I like to use, and wildfire. So any thread that you would use for seed beads is great. So 1G we're having that special deal on the 1G today. So you get this 12-piece set at 50% off if you spend $75 or more. That deal ends at the end of today. But you could also use any other threads. So if you've got wildfire or fireline, I kind of lean towards 1G for beaded beads because you can also match them up. But I did use the Fireline to create these two. It's just what I grabbed when I was starting to get ready for making samples for the show. So that's just your preference. Some folks really like Fireline. Some people are devoted to wildfire. And I thought I had those in the show, Michelle. If I don't, maybe you could pop some of that in. But 1G, the cool thing about the 1G is there are so many beautiful colors. The Fireline and Wildfire really are limited to, I think, black and that crystal color. So I think there might be a blue one I put in the show for Wildfire, but look at all the beautiful colors for 1G, and there are more. So if you don't get this set, there are lots of small, individual spools available in more colors than what are shown here. So you can match them up to your beads, or find a very complementing or contrasting color that you want to use with your 2-hole beads. So just something to think about. Lots of opportunities, lots of options. But I thought today I would show you a fun and simple project using wire. So we could do beaded beads another time if you all are interested in that again. But this is a little wire kind of hoop-ish earring that you can make with these 2-hole beads. And I used some 24 gauge wire to make these. So I thought I would show you how to do this. It's really easy. And I used these colors here. So let me find my colors. We've got, polychrome rose. So let's put these out on our mat. And by the way, the treasure mat is in the show as well. If you're interested in picking up a treasure mat, I always say treasure map when I say that. But this is a treasure mat. Great way to organize your projects. So this is the polychrome rose. I think this is a little more on the purple side, but maybe I'm just a little colorblind. I enjoy this color. It's really, really lovely and sweet. Very, very soft, very nice, but it's that metallic again. And this color is light copper. And I would maybe call this a little bit more bronze, but I love this color as well. This is a super cool neutral. I would pick this color up to match up to everything because this color would look great with your red. This color would look great with your fuchsia. Look at it with the sage. I mean, that is a neutral to its core. So that's a great color combination for anything. And then I used one of my favorite seed beads, the antique bronze. This is an 11-0 round. Last night I worked primarily with demi rounds. I really like the look of demi rounds. Sometimes it creates a fun design option compared to an 11-0 round. The demi rounds are a little shorter and they look like a little donut, which also makes me hungry. So now croissants and donuts, I've got to get something to eat after this show today. So here are my beads I'm going to work with. And I'm going to grab some 24 gauge artistic wire. I think I have some of this in the show. I hope I have some of this in the show. And let me grab my cutters. What did I do with my cutters? Here we go. So I'm going to cut off just like maybe about 5 or 6 inches. And then I'm going to cut a second piece by matching up my second piece with the wire that I haven't cut yet. Get it about as close as I can. Come in and trim that off. So I've got 2 pieces of wire to work with. And let me move this up just a touch and this back just a touch. Take off the cat hair off the mat. So I've got my 2 pieces of wire, and what I did is just so simple, you guys. And 24 gauge wire is super pliable, super easy to work with. It can get a little bendy, but we want that in this case. So I'm just going to kind of do a little pre-bending, and I'm going to create a little loop at the bottom of the wire. So I've got just 3 little seed beads at the bottom of this piece, or what I would consider the end of the design. And I'm just going to let those drop down to the kind of the bottom of the piece of wire. And then I'm going to kind of bend this a little bit, and up here just kind of straighten it out a little bit because I want to add the crescents. Now, remember, I keep harping on you that it matters how you string these on, depending on how you want your design to look. But what I did was I actually used these beads going in different directions on the piece. So I used the first bead I put on faces with the pointy ends of the crescent out in this direction, and then the rose bead is the pointy piece, the more curved piece is in the front. So I just alternated that, and I thought it would look kind of fun and interesting, add some cool texture. So the very first one, I'm going to string on with the spiky ends out towards the front. And I'm just going to be very careful not to go too crazy with the wire, but we're going to pull that on and just got to use a little bit of pressure to get that on. And it does fit very nicely on the 24 gauge wire. So it will look like that. Now you could start with it facing in the opposite direction. It's totally up to you how you would like to do that. Lots of design options. And I'm just adding one seed bead to be the spacer between this bead and the next one and the next one and the next one. So now I've got my second color. And gosh, you guys, with all the beautiful colors that we have, you can pick your favorites and make this same design. So I'm going to take that piece and put it in the other direction. So look at that. You've got that fun kind of wild and crazy look with those beads going in the opposite directions. And so I'm going to take my seed beads, put those on, and now I'm going to take my next crescent and I'm going to put that on facing outwards. So look. That is so fun and cute. I love that. So spiky is kind of, maybe that's not a good word because you maybe don't like spiky things, but the pointier ends of the bead are the way that, that I'm putting these on. So, and you could do these all in the same direction too. Totally up to you how to do this. The options are endless. So super fun. And I believe, let me double check my design here. So I have 4 of the darker bead and 3 of the lighter bead. So we've just got a few more beads to put on here. Really easy peasy, easy breezy. And here's my next crescent. And I actually like when you pull the first 3 beads down, if you've got one wire that's a little bit longer than the other, that's actually kind of a good thing. It helps you more easily get your bead onto the wire. I don't know. It's just, it helps, I think, to have one a little bit longer and one a little bit shorter. And it doesn't have to be dramatically longer or shorter. But just know that if you've got that situation, it will probably help you to get your beads on. All right, putting on my third crescent here. And if I haven't told you how much I love the crescents, I'm telling you now. I love them. They are super fun. They're just a cool bead, really interesting shape. And I did encounter last night with the diamond beads that occasionally you might find one that has a little problem with the hole in the bead. Sometimes you can press the hole through with a head pin or a piece of wire. Don't worry if that happens. You can just move on to the next one. You shouldn't have that, but occasionally I bump into that with these 2-hole beads. So to end our little column here that we're going to make into a curved piece, I'm going to add 2 more seed beads up top. Let me see what question here. I love the flip-flop direction, Gina says, and BJ's asking if the blue beads are gone. I don't know. Maybe Michelle can check that out. So here we've got all the flip-flop, Gina. Look at that. It just makes an interesting texture, really fun and interesting. So again, you could do them all in the same direction. You could do the opposite of what I've done. Looks like a ladder. Yes, I agree. It does look like a ladder. So you could actually make this like this one. So I made this little column piece yesterday with the diamond beads. But you could finish it off that way, and I'll show you what it would look like because that's how this starts. So, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to grab my round nose pliers and I'm just going to do a little crisscross. I'm going to do a crisscross right at the top of my 2 seed beads. And then I'm going to pull one wire around and pull the other wire up like that. And then I'm going to just wrap with my fingers. You could use a tool to help you out if you need it, but 24 gauge wire is pretty easy to wrap without assistance. And you can get a decent wrap. This one's not the best, but you can get a decent one. And I do like multiple wraps for the top of this piece because it adds just a nice little metallic accent up top. Okay, so I've got that all secure. Now I'm going to cut off my excess or trim off my excess. And you may need to come in with your chain nose and kind of get that little end of the wire tucked in. And then what you'll want to do is create a wire wrap loop. Let me get all this madness out of the way. So many tools to do a simple little project. It's amazing, isn't it? So I'm going to take my my wire and I'm going to create a wire wrap loop. So I'm just going to hold that chain round nose up top and create a loop. And I'm going to go around my wire just maybe a couple of times and get that loop nice and stable up top. And then I'm going to trim off my excess. Now, I probably should have wrapped in the other direction, but I'll show you how to remedy that. If you've got your flat nose or chain nose, you can take your loop and come in and twist that forward like so. And if your loop is a little wonky, you can come in with your chain nose and straighten that out. So you could leave it just like this. If you don't want to make the little curvy piece we're making, you could absolutely just stop here and you've got this fun little column with all of that fun texture. Super fun, super easy. I've got these ear wires in the show today. Hopefully they are not sold out. These are called bead and coil, and they are 14K/20 flat ear wires, and they are gold filled, and they are so lovely and just kind of a nice catch-all ear wire for just about everything. I'm going to come in and open this up. And I'm going to drop this on, holding on to the little pieces and drop that on. And then let's close this up and then push down those little pieces. So again, it could look just like this, or we're going to put all of these tools out, get all these tools out of the way. And I've got like a little chapstick here. Actually, you know what? I think I used my finger. I think I used my finger for this one. So I just used my pinky finger and I grabbed this piece. So let's see. I think that's how I did it. And you can, because the wire is pretty pliable, you can shape it how you would like. So I kind of like that little shape. We might want to push that up just a little bit. And so now you've got these little fun, little curved, almost crescent shaped earrings with crescent beads. And I think they're super fun. This is just one of the many, many things you can do with these versatile little beads. These crescents pack a lot of punch with their colors, with the shape. And if you pick these up today, you will get that wildflower bracelet pattern, which is, look at this. I mean, this lady, Michelle Snyder, created this. She is a trendsetter And so, I mean, this is fancy. This is super easy. Hoping that you guys, if you are more of an easy project girl, or you're just getting started with working with these kinds of beads, this is the perfect kind of project. And remember, you can do these really fun beaded beads with your crescents, and you can do them in 2 different shapes. And all the holidays are coming up, so our pumpkins, our, melons and pumpkins. This would actually be a great watermelon bead. Summer, do a watermelon bead. You could put some red seed beads in between these green ones, or you could do red beads with green seed beads. That would be super cool. And these are a super fun shape as well. Thank you, Joan. So guys, I'm going to flip the camera up. I want to show you a few things before we go, and also give you a chance to check out, because you don't want to miss on what's in your cart. People can snatch that out of your cart. They're not intentionally doing it, but if something is in limited stock, you might not get it if you let your cart linger too long. So here's my ear cuff. I wanted to show you this. This is something you can do with the crescents as well. So you can create this little wire ear cuff with just a few of the 2-hole beads in whatever shape you pick out. Like we've been showing you all these fun shapes. You can take some fun shapes and create this piece. And I did some little wire wrap loops at the end. But you can do, you can take the wire like we did for our little columns. You could do this with a very thin gauge wire, and you can create that little ear cuff. So if you just want a little something, I would love to have another piercing, but I'm not going to because I'm chicken. So I'm just going to add another ear adornment with a little ear cuff. Tilly says cart snatchers. Yes, don't stay away from the cart snatchers. Please check out so that the cart snatchers don't get you. And I hope you guys will try working with these fun beads. I am so glad that we took some time to share all of the cool checkmates with you guys. I hope that you will try them out as well. And as always, we would love to see what you make with these. So go to the Serious Art Beaters Facebook group. If you're a member, all you need to do is create a post and a picture and tell us about what you made. Tell us what inspired you. Tell us maybe why you picked. And if you're not a member, you can just enter Serious Art Beaters and come join us over there. It's a great community. Gina L says, thanks again, Deb, for a fun and inspiring show. I haven't used crescents or diamonds before and looking forward to giving them a go. Okay, I like that attitude, Gina. That's great. Denise, thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here. We have lots planned for you the rest of this week. The 35% off sale of Checkmates is only through the end of today. So grab those Checkmates while they're on sale. Try them all out. There's fun shows coming from the other designers the rest of the week. Julie and Becky and Sarah, they're all planning some wonderful things for you for the rest of the week. I'll be back next Monday, so I hope that you will join me then. And I hope you will all have a really fun week. Go and make some things. Go try out something new, and we'll see you very soon. Bye, everybody.